Hey, what's up, guys? So basically, we got back Friday morning. It's been pretty busy trip so far. But it's always nice to go to different events like Hugo Boss, UA. We had a really nice dinner with Hugo Boss that overlooked MBS one night. What was the name of that restaurant? Aura.
National Guard.
And it was really nice. But besides running around doing hectic stuff, my buddy Trip came back with me, and yesterday I had a chance to show him around Singapore. We went to the Merlion, Esplanade, and Gardens by the Bay. I can't remember when the last time was. I went to the Merlion, so that was always nice. And today we got that charity golf tournament at 1, so I'm looking forward to that. Besides that, nothing else really happened besides trying to show Trip a good time, showing up, meeting new people, and yeah, that's my trip in a nutshell, basically so far. Oh. We went to the Tanah for the first time too. That was pretty cool. I like that. I didn't know we had 8 holes in that palace area. Can you believe that? Downtown Singapore, 8 golf holes. Like what? So that was phenomenal. I'm glad I got to see that. I tried to ask Mr. President whether he plays golf over there, and he said I think all he said was, it's a narrow course. It's hard. It's a hard course. And I asked him if I could practice on it or if I could play a couple holes. And I don't think he gave me a solid answer. I think he was being politically correct. So can't find any fault there with him. But hopefully that'd be pretty cool. I could do that one day. But yeah, besides that, same old, nothing else. Oh, okay, so going forward, my plans for the next year, so I leave this Friday, kind of get back to the grind, kind of get back to practice. It's been a fun last few months. Swimming hasn't really been my priority in the last few months. I needed to take some time off, kind of recharge, let loose a little bit, and I needed to miss swimming after the summer, especially. How brutal training has been over the past few years, and it's been an accumulation of all that. But going forward, I spoke to Eddie yesterday on the phone, and I said, it's time to get back to work. I'm motivated. I want to break that world record in Budapest this summer at Worlds. So that's my next goal, and I think it's definitely attainable. It's definitely within my reach. And besides breaking the world record, I want to do other events also. Put the 200 fly back in. Obviously, improve on the 100 free, maybe even the 200 free. Eddie did the toying around with the idea of me swimming IM again, 200 IM. So there are a lot of things out there. But before we go to Budapest, there's NCAA's in March, end of March, in Indiana, I think. So obviously we're going to be looking at trying to win a 3rd consecutive national title. That'd be pretty cool. I don't think any team has done that for a while since the early 2000s with Texas, like Brendan, Ian Crocker, Aaron Pearsall, that star-studded group. So that'd be the next goal. And then after those 2 meets, going forward to SEA Games in KL. I haven't really decided what I'm going to swim yet. I know I've qualified for the 100 fly, the 100 free, and those 2 events would put me for 2 relays, the medley relay and the 4x1 free relay. So I've been 4 events so far. I haven't decided how many events I want to swim. It could be anywhere between 6 to 8. I don't know if I want to go for 9 or 10 this time around. It being after Worlds, but that's all subject to change. Everything's up in the air right now. Nothing's concrete. Nothing's planned We're just tinkering with the idea of swimming different events. who knows? Maybe I might swim some breaststroke at SEA Games. Are there 50s at SEA Games breaststroke? I might swim a 50 breast. Is there a 50?
Yes.
50
Maybe.
No, I think they confirmed already.
Confirmed.
Because the last time initially they said no, right?
The first
the
cut.
first cut.
No.
So the second one, I thought they put back all the 50. I think got to double check. Yeah.
So there's 50 breasts. I might swim 50 breasts. That'd be kind of funny, right? But I think I could crank a 50 breast out. I'd be laughing during that race, but it'd be fun. I definitely take it seriously though. But I'm gonna shock some people. Don't you guys laugh at me? I see those smiles. But yeah. So obviously now we turn our focus back to getting back in the pool and getting some good work in before those 3 meets.
Did you and Eddie discuss in more detail about how we're gonna work towards breaking Phelps's world record in Budapest?
Well, Eddie said I just need to get back in the pool. My body type is such that I get in shape really fast, but I also lose it really fast. So they're kind of both ends of the spectrum. So Eddie sent me a long text yesterday saying, hope you're enjoying your break. He updated me on how the guys are doing back home, which is always nice. He asked me if I was following some of the guys' progressions. We had a swim meet back home, an inter-squad meet, not like a dual meet and stuff. They did really well, so I'm excited to see that. And his last sentence was, don't get fat. He said, I like you no matter what, except if you get fat. That's Eddie's humor for you, very dry humor. But besides that, we've done some different things this year in the weight room. Weights are basically the same. You don't touch the core of your weight program. It's fundamentally working for us, so we don't toy around with that. But for dryland, we can kind of toy around with the idea of different exercises. So for example, last year I do a distance circuit, running up and down, wheels up ramps and stuff like that. But this year I cut that out, and instead of doing all that, I'm rowing. I'm rowing this year. I didn't believe rowing would help. I was like, Eddie, this is a joke, right? And he's like, just do it.
Ahead of the Olympics.
Huh?
Ahead of the Olympics, you were doing, or the upcoming year you're going to do.
This year I'm starting rowing. Before the Olympics, I wasn't rowing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so rowing is like a new thing. So I've been rowing, and I thought it was a joke, but I mean it's not. It's hard. It's oh my gosh, it's so hard. And I think that's one of the key things that will take me to the next level. Stuff like that. I've been doing 40 pro exercises more. Also, it's just like a flexible TRX. Have you all heard of that before? 40 pros. So I've been doing that, and then I've been doing some shoulder stability. I've had some shoulder, like a little bit of like shoulder pains or like bicep tendonitis, like super light ones. But I just gotta stay flexible and balance out me gaining more muscle with all the weights I've done and my flexibility. If I don't stretch and I gain more muscle, then I'm going to be more injury prone because I'll be too tight, and that's no good. But besides that, I think one of the biggest things I got to do was observe how Michael Phelps and guys like Chad traveled, and I noticed they always had like a great support group like following them. So that being nutritionists, masseuse. We have good masseuse here for Singapore, but they always had that extra personnel that followed them and like took care of everything they did. With UT, they take care of us. They're when we go to NCAA's or conference, the full team goes. And they have everything systematically planned out, like to the T, to the dot. And I think that's definitely that's definitely an area that Singapore can improve on in that aspect. Learn from countries like the U.S. or like athletes like Chad Laszlo or whoever, all the top athletes, you see their support staff follow them everywhere they go. And for us, I think we're still in the learning process, but we're not there yet. I think we need better planning for the meets. We need to be more accurate in what we do. And if you see the U.S. team travels, there's no playing around. Everything's planned out. And when UT travels, when I travel with the college team, everything is planned out. Buses are waiting, people are moving. Athletes are never waiting. We're always moving. And sometimes when we travel with Singapore, I notice, things always don't work out well. It's not. I mean, it's normal. It's hectic, but I think we could definitely improve on that area, and be more fundamentally sound in the things we do, and we kind of like iron out the creases basically, and make sure that nutrition is there. Like our nutritionists, monitoring what our athletes eat closely. I know I was working with the best nutritionist I've had was Kirsty, and she used to work with SSI, and now she's back in New Zealand running her own practice, and I've still been in contact with her because I didn't want to break that relationship because of what we had. Kirsty's the first nutritionist that I've had that monitors my plans, makes a huge effort to pester me about what I'm doing. Are you eating this? Are you doing this? And you should see the flight plan that she gave me. I've never seen anything like that before. She gave me a flight plan, planning out every hour of my trip, coming to Singapore and going back to the US. Okay, this trip, this from like first hour to third hour, you do this, you sleep, and then from then on you have like a cherry juice, have electrolytes with you, when to drink this, when to drink that, when to eat, when not to eat, when to sleep, every hour planned out. And I've never seen anything like that before. So we need more people like that, that run our system. People that are very, very, they pay a lot of attention to detail basically. And I think Kirsty, one of the reasons why I did well in Rio was because of my nutrition. And I have to give a lot of credit to Kirsty for doing that. She monitored me very, very closely, and also she came up with new ideas. For example, like beta alanine, stuff like that. It's like a pre-workout-ish, a little bit used like tingles. That's you find in pre-workout also. So basically, we loaded that for 4 to 6 weeks before my race, and we like super saturate my body with that, and we overload my body with that, so my body stores a lot of that. And what beta alanine does is it delays, kind of like when your muscle lactate fatigue sets in during the race, and that gives you like maybe a little more spur towards the end, so you can finish a little stronger. So stuff like that, or beet juice. I know Kirsty brought in Kirsty was super adamant about beet juice, so we got those beet elite shots. And what that does, it encourages oxygen flow in your blood, and it lets you absorb more oxygen. And all these are natural. Like beet juice is natural. Beta is completely okay also. So things like that, attention to detail. Definitely, we need to have more people like that, and that will really go a long way.
And just now you were talking about how the US and the UD swimming teams are always very prepared. Other than the fact that sometimes there might be delays, what would you hope to see moving forward, improvements in the local side of things?
I mean, I think as far as just support for sports, I think there's been a huge increase in support for sports in the last few years. But if you compare us with other countries, we're still relatively far behind, and that's completely understandable, considering our sporting background and our history in sports and stuff like that. That's completely understandable. But as far as what I think we should do